Hello and welcome to the CBT Nuggets MicroNugget entitled Scratch Programming Using Broadcasts. My name is Tim Warner. In the Scratch programming environment, we use broadcasts to send and receive messages between sprites. For instance, what if we wanted to set up this simple Scratch application such that when the user clicks the Scratch Cat sprite, the background changes from white to black? That's a simple example, but that's something that would, unless you have a better option, is best accomplished by using the broadcast. Well, let me show you how easy that is. Let's double left click the Scratch Cat. As best practice, I'm going to rename the sprite, and we'll set things up by double left clicking the stage, going to backgrounds, and we'll add in a second background. We'll call it background 1 white BG, and then new background paint. I'll select the black color with the eyedropper, use the paint bucket, make it a black playfield, and let's rename this background as black BG. Okay, so how do we set this up? Well, let's navigate, staying with the stage sprite, let's navigate to scripts and say that when the green flag is clicked, we're going to looks, reset the background or switch the background to white, so we're always there. Let's double left click the Scratch Cat, and in the control area we'll say that when the Scratch Cat is clicked, we are going to send out a broadcast. Now what's that broadcast going to do? Well, we can open up its drop-down flyout and we'll call this change background. Actually, let's make this more specific. Change BG white to black. How's that? Click OK. Now that's an arbitrary name and it's not going to actually do anything. Let me start the project. And I'm clicking and the script is firing, but nothing is actually happening because we haven't had anything pick up or receive that broadcast. Let's bring the stage up, and we're going to, in the control area, now bring out what I call a listener, such that when the background receives that broadcast message coming off the sprite click event, we're going to looks, switch to background, black BG, you see? So let's save our work, run the project again, and let me click the cat. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Now, in the name of debugging this, let's stop the project and restart it. That works just fine, doesn't it? So far, so good. Nonetheless, though, how do we get the background to go back white if the user clicks the cat a second time? Okay, this is how I solved the problem. Of course, with programming, there are several different ways to solve any problem. Some are more elegant than others. Some solutions are faster than others. This is what I came up with quickly. Let me walk you through it. What I've done here is added a conditional block. Specifically under control, there's a block called if-else. And in that if-else blocks, you see it takes a Boolean as its argument. So I went under operators and I grabbed this equality block and stuck it in there. I decided to switch the costume of the cat depending upon whether the background is white or black. So if we go to costumes, the Scratch Cat has two costumes by default. It's meant to help you do some basic animation if you want to do that with the Scratch Cat. I didn't rename those costumes, by the way, but basically I set it up such that if the costume number, you can get to the costume number variable. It actually is a watcher. You can put it right on the stage by dragging out costume number, and I said that if the costume number is 1, which it always will be when we start the application, you see here this green flag event, then broadcast the change BG white to black. And you'll remember that on the stage, when the stage receives the white to black message, we switch to the black background, which is over here. So far, so good? Now, things got complex, you'll remember, is because once the screen was black, how do we get back to the white screen? I added that as an else. I created a new broadcast called Change BG Black to White that, if we come back to the stage, does just the opposite. That when the stage hears that message, it switches the background. We're not quite done yet. We need to actually have the cat itself listen to those messages and change its costume when those events happen. Let's start the script using the green flag. The Scratch Cat is in costume 1. If we click, then the cat itself hears that white to black message, switches to costume 2. The stage heard that message, that broadcast actually, and changed the background from white to black. Now if we click the Scratch Cat again, the Scratch Cat itself hears the black to white message because this if-else says that if the costume is 1, broadcast white to black. Otherwise, which is to say if the costume is 2, broadcast change BG black black to white. So in summary, friends, this is a pretty nice example of using broadcasts to communicate, in this case, both between a sprite and the stage, and also within a single sprite itself. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.